It was still early. The soft morning light touched the heavy curtains of Kensington Palace, but inside the large bedroom, shadows remained. The room was quiet. Too quiet. Prince William sat at the edge of the bed. His shoulders were hunched, his hands resting on his knees. Beside him, the other half of the bed was cold and untouched. The empty space stared back at him. It had been like this for 3 weeks. Kate was not here. She was in a private medical facility. The best doctors were helping her. No reporters, no flashing cameras. Just care. But the long days without her voice, without her laughter, weighed on William more than he had expected. The silence felt alive. Sometimes, when the quiet became too much, William spoke to the room, soft words, just to hear some sound. Now he reached for his phone. So many missed calls. 17 from his private secretary, James. More messages from staff, friends, family. He did not open any of them. He scrolled quickly, searching for the one message that mattered. Then he saw it. It was from Dr. Elizabeth Harper, Kate's lead doctor. The message was short. She is responding well. She might be able to make a short appearance soon. William's breath caught. His heart began to beat faster. Hope, small but bright, sparked in his chest. He read the message again and again. Could it be true? Could he see her smile again soon? He stood and went to the bathroom. The man in the mirror looked tired, older. But today was different. Today he wanted to look like himself again for her. He chose his navy blue suit. Kate always said it made his eyes look brighter. While fixing his tie, his eyes landed on a photo on the dresser. It was from 6 months ago. He and Kate were laughing, caught in a happy moment at a charity gala. She wore her emerald green dress, her smile so warm, so alive. William touched the frame with his fingertips. "I will see that smile again," he whispered. The drive to St. Mary's Children's Hospital was quiet. London passed by outside the windows. William sat in the back of the car, deep in thought. His protection officer, Detective Inspector Sarah Collins, sat up front. She glanced back at him from time to time. In 12 years of working with the royal family, she had never seen him like this, so silent, so heavy with worry. William's mind drifted to 3 days ago, the phone call with Kate. Her voice, though weak, sounded stronger than it had in weeks. "I've been thinking about the children," she told him, little Emma. "She sent me a card with rainbow stickers." William smiled softly. "I saw it. Please visit them," Kate said. "Tell them I'm thinking of them." Then she made him promise something else, something he still kept close to his heart. The car turned onto Paddington Street. Outside the hospital, reporters and photographers waited behind barriers. They were curious. The world wanted news. But the palace had said only one thing, that Kate was recovering. Detective Collins spoke into her radio. Soon, security officers made a clear path from the car to the hospital doors. William took a deep breath, and he stepped out. Flashes of cameras burst like small stars. Voices shouted questions, but he heard none of them. His royal training guided him. Calm, strong. Focused. Inside the hospital, Dr. Sarah Mitchell was waiting. A kind woman, always smiling, always full of hope. Over the years, William and Kate had come to know her well. She gave him updates as they walked through the colorful halls. "Emma's doing well," she said. "She asks about Kate every day. Marcus has a new prosthetic leg. Sophia can eat again after chemo." William listened. The good news brought a soft warmth to his heart, but also a deep reminder of life's fragility. They stopped near a playroom. Through the window, William saw children about 20, laughing, playing, waiting. Some were in wheelchairs, some had 4 poles, but all of them smiled. William closed his eyes for a moment. He imagined Kate beside him, her quiet strength, her gentle hand on his arm. He opened his eyes again. "Ready?" Dr. Mitchell opened the door. 4. A second, the room went silent. Then the children cheered. Their joy filled the space. William smiled. his first true smile in weeks. He stepped forward, ready to bring hope, ready to honor Kate's wish. The sound of laughter filled the bright playroom. Prince William smiled as he walked in, but deep inside, his heart was still heavy. It had been so long since Kate stood beside him at moments like this. Still here he was, keeping the promise he had made to her. The children's faces lit up. Some clapped, others waved. Little Emma rushed toward him on shaky legs, her eyes wide with joy. "Prince William," she cried, her voice full of happiness. He knelt down, meeting her at eye level. "Hello, Emma," he said warmly. "You look wonderful today." Emma's tiny arms wrapped around his neck. For a moment William closed his eyes, feeling the pure honesty of that small hug. This was why Kate wanted him to come. She knew how much these moments meant. Around the room, other children began to gather. Marcus showed off his new leg, walking proudly. Sophia sat with her mother, waving shyly. William moved from one child to another, giving each his full attention. Every word, every smile, all of it came from his heart. But through it all, one thought remained in his mind. "I wish Kate were here to see this." Detective Inspector Sarah Collins stood quietly near the door, watching the scene. She could see how hard William was trying to be strong. She knew this visit wasn't easy for him, not after weeks of sleepless nights and endless worry. Across the room, Dr. Mitchell spoke softly to one of the nurses. Then she approached William. "Would you like to read a story to the children?" she asked gently. William looked around. The children's eyes were full of hope, waiting. He nodded, of course. He chose a colorful picture book and sat down. In the big reading chair, children gathered around, sitting close. Some leaned against him, others snuggled with their parents. As William began to read, his voice softened. Page by page, he brought the story to life. He made funny voices, dramatic pauses. Laughter rang out. Even the nurses smiled. And for a short time, William felt lighter, as if the weight on his chest had eased. He could almost hear Kate's voice beside him, whispering, "You're doing good? They need this?" But the moment the story ended, reality returned. The children clapped and cheered, but in William's heart, there was a quiet ache. He stood, thanked everyone, and prepared to leave the playroom. As he moved toward the door, Emma tugged at his sleeve. "Will Kate come visit us soon?" asked her voice full of innocence. The room fell silent. Every eye turned to him, waiting. William knelt again, meeting Emma's gaze. His throat tightened. "She wants to," he said softly. "She's getting stronger every day, and when she can, she'll be here." "That's a promise," Emma beamed. "I'll wait for her." William smiled, but his eyes glistened. He gently hugged her one more time, then stood. Dr. Mitchell touched his arm as they left the room. "She'll be proud of you," she said quietly. William's voice was barely a whisper. "I hope so." As they walked down the hallway, William paused at the wall of handprints again. His yellow handprint still sat beside Kate's. His fingers brushed against the paint. For a moment, memories of their past visits flooded his mind. The joy, the laughter, the way Kate's hand had always slipped into his at moments like this. His phone buzzed. A new message. His breath caught when he saw who it was from. Dr. Elizabeth. "Harper," 3 simple words. "She is ready." William's heart skipped a beat. He stared at the screen, reading the words again and again. Could it be true? Was today the day? He looked toward Detective Collins, who was watching him closely. The first time in weeks, his voice was filled with life. "Prepare the car," he said. "We're going back." The message still glowed on William's phone. "She is ready." His heart pounded in his chest. He could hardly believe the words. For days, he had waited for any sign, any hope. And now, here it was. Kate might be coming back, even if just for a short time. He looked up from the phone. Detective Inspector Collins stood nearby, her eyes full of questions. "Prepare the car," William said, voice steady but filled with urgency. "We're going back." In minutes, they were on the road again. The busy streets of London rushed past the windows, but William barely noticed. His mind was full of images of Kate, smiling again, standing beside him. Could it really happen? Today, he remembered the last promise she had asked of him, whispered during their phone call. When the time comes, stand with me. Don't let me face them alone. Of course he would. He would always stand beside her. As the car pulled up to the private medical facility, William's heart raced. Quickly climbed out, his long strides carrying him toward the entrance. Inside, the air smelled faintly of flowers. Nurses moved quietly through the halls. Dr. Elizabeth Harper met him by the door. Her calm smile eased some of his nerves. "She's been waiting for you," she said softly. William followed her down the familiar hallway. Each step felt slower, heavier. So much had happened these past weeks. Fear, hope, long nights of worry, and now, maybe joy. Finally, they reached the room. The door stood open just a little. Inside, sunlight poured through the window, falling on the soft blankets of the hospital bed, and there she was, Kate. She sat up, her face pale but glowing. Her hair was brushed neatly, her hands folded on her lap, eyes tired but bright, locked onto his. "William," she whispered, her voice full of warmth. Without a word, William crossed the room. He knelt beside the bed, taking her hands in his. "You look beautiful," he said, voice shaking slightly. Kate smiled. That smile he had missed so much. "They say I can go." "Just for a little while," she said. "Are you ready?" William nodded. "Always." Soon the doctors helped her prepare. Soft scarf around her neck, a warm coat over her shoulders. Every moment, William stayed close, could feel her trembling. Slightly, but her spirit was strong. Before leaving, Kate looked up at him. "I want to visit the children." "What?" William's heart swelled. Of course, that was her wish. She had always thought of them first. The ride back to the hospital was quiet. William held Kate's hand gently the whole way. Through the car window, the city moved like a dream. At the hospital, word had already spread. The staff knew. The children would soon know. Their princess was coming. Outside the hospital, a small crowd had gathered again. Reporters, photographers. The palace had said nothing official, but somehow hope had reached them too. Detective Collins and her team worked quickly, clearing a safe path. As the car door opened, William stepped out first. The cameras flashed wildly, but then the world seemed to pause, because there, stepping carefully from the car, was Kate. For a heartbeat, no one moved. No one spoke. Then the crowd gasped softly, a sound of wonder, of relief. Kate leaned gently on William's arm. She stood tall, her chin high. Her eyes sparkled with quiet strength, and together they began to walk. Each step was slow, but steady. William felt the emotion building in his chest. Round them, the clicking of cameras grew softer, almost respectful. Porters watched, but for once, they held their words. In the playroom, children and parents waited. Emma, Marcus, Sophia. All of them had heard the news. Their excitement buzzed through the air. Suddenly, the door opened, and there she was, Princess Kate. Gasps filled the room. Some children clapped. Others stared in wide-eyed wonder. Emma rushed forward first, arms open wide. Kate knelt carefully, her arms wrapping the little girl in a gentle hug. "I told you she would come," William whispered, his voice thick with emotion. Tears shimmered in many eyes, not just the children's, but the parents, the staff, even the guards. Hope had walked through the door, and this was only the beginning. The room seemed to glow. Princess Kate stood there, holding little Emma in her arms. Around her the children stared with wide eyes, their faces full of joy and wonder. No one had expected this. Not today. Today, some had even begun to believe they might never see her again. But now, here she was, pale, thinner than before, but smiling, standing strong. And beside her, Prince William stood tall and proud, his eyes filled with deep emotion. He had kept his promise. He had not let her face this alone. Emma whispered in Kate's ear, her tiny voice full of love. "I missed you." Kate hugged her gently. "I missed you too, sweet girl." Then Kate looked around the room. Each child held her gaze. Some were too weak to stand. Some sat in wheelchairs. Some held tight to their parents' hands. Every face was lit with hope. Kate spoke softly. "I thought of you all every single day," she said. "Your cards, your messages, they gave me so much strength." Tears filled many eyes. Even the nurses wiped their cheeks quietly. William helped Kate move through the room, one step at a time. She knelt beside Marcus, admiring his new prosthetic leg. She spoke gently to Sophia, her voice full of care. To each child, she gave her full heart. No one was left out. Parents watched with quiet gratitude. They knew what this visit meant. It was more than just a royal appearance. It was hope, alive and breathing, standing before them. At one point, Emma tugged on Kate's sleeve again. "Will you come back soon?" she asked, eyes wide. Kate smiled softly. "Soon as I can," she promised. "I'm getting stronger every day." William felt his throat tighten. He knew how hard Kate had fought to be here today. He could see the tiredness behind her bright eyes. Her spirit, her courage, shone brighter than ever. The visit went on longer than anyone had expected. Time seemed to slow. No one wanted this moment to end. But finally, Dr. Mitchell stepped forward gently. "Perhaps it's time to rest." She said with care. Kate nodded. She knew her limits. Before leaving, she spoke once more to the children. "Remember this," she said softly. "You are stronger than you know, and you are never alone." With that, she and William slowly made their way toward the door. The children clapped softly, their small hands filling the room with love. As they stepped outside the playroom, porters and photographers waited beyond the hospital doors. The news had already spread. Photos of Kate standing with the children would soon be seen around the world. But at that moment, none of that mattered to William. What mattered was the woman beside him, her hand on his arm, her strength shining through her tired frame. They reached the car, the crowd parting with quiet respect. Cameras flashed, but for once, no one shouted questions. It was as if the whole city held its breath. Inside the car, as they pulled away, William looked at Kate. "You were amazing," he whispered. Kate smiled gently. "I only did what my heart told me." Tears filled his eyes. He could not speak for a moment. Back at the palace, as the afternoon sun slanted across the sky, William helped Kate back to their room, the same room where the empty space beside him had felt so cold for weeks. Now, she was here again. Kate lay back against the soft pillows, her hand still holding his. "You kept your promise," she said softly, her voice warm. William leaned close. "And I always will." Outside, the news began to spread. Photos, videos, headlines. Princess Kate returns. Moment of courage and hope. But inside the palace, none of that mattered. What mattered was this: love, strength, and a promise kept. And in the hearts of 20 brave children, the memory of this day would stay forever.